DFG Science TV, the start of nature, life in an open pit mine, from a lunar landscape to an ecosystem.
Plants have rapidly conquered the surface of the area around Chicken Creek, but their habitat isn't just superficial. Just as important, although less evident at first sight, are the parts of the plants that are underground. It's difficult for the research team to study the development of the roots, how they grow and change, because to do so they would have to dig down into the soil. Under this roof, however, there is a special installation that gives them a direct view of the roots as they grow, a so-called mini Rhizotron image acquisition system. It consists of a lot of Perspex tubes buried in the ground. Clover and grass was then planted on the surface of the soil, and now the roots are growing down around the tubes. Using a video camera attached to a special endoscopic rod, the researchers can then observe the roots as they grow. The images show a small section of clover roots and what happens to them over time. Nodule bacteria have colonized the round nodules, which allow the clover to fix nitrogen from the air. To study these roots in greater detail, Simone Fritsch is preparing a so-called 3D sample. I'm using this square root-cutting core sampler to cut away 5 layers of soil. The first at a depth of 10 centimeters from ground level, and then working down to a depth of 50 centimeters. What we actually want to do is see the way the roots develop in the various layers of soil. Well, so far, we've already been able to find out that the greatest root growth is in these 10 centimeters of soil just below the surface. And the deeper you go, the less root growth there is. The 3D sampling will make it possible to produce a spatial representation of how the roots spread through the soil. To do so, the samples first need to be prepared. Simone sieves the soil and then cleans the roots. Then she scans the roots so that they can be analyzed by computer. Why do the roots sometimes seem to prefer growing in certain directions? This is the question that the root team from the ETH in Zurich is looking at. What we're trying to find out with our project is which mechanisms actually play a role in the acquisition of nutrients. Because it's impossible to study everything at once, we've just picked out one model plant, the lotus, which is also significant in Chicken Creek. On the basis of this plant, we will then be able to study the individual strategies or the strategies of individual nutrient acquisition in more detail. At the Paul Scherrer Institute, Bernd Felderer is taking a look through the metal covers of the root boxes using neutron radiography. In the Institute's high-security zone, neutrons are fired at the area surrounding the roots, and the water in the roots absorbs the neutrons so strongly that the roots are visible as fine lines. The plant uses its roots to acquire the water and nutrients that it needs to survive, but it isn't just the roots that are essential for the plant to grow. The soil is essential too. The soil around Chicken Creek is still very young. The question is, what distinguishes it from older soil and what actually happens as soil matures? Find out in the next episode.
Visit DFG Science TV for more information. Awaken the researcher within you.